Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Neville and welcome to Selective Imagery. Welcome to the Wonders of Nature Photography, Part 2. For many, springtime represents a new beginning, the emergence of new life on this planet we call Earth. As photographers, we attempt to capture some of these moments with our photography and video gear, all the while knowing our eyes and our mind capture these moments the best. But of course, as we age and our memories become less focused, looking at the photos and videos we have taken brings back everything into focus once again, at least for a while. Flowers for many are the first thing we think of in the spring because most of us see the emergence of new growth first. However, for the wildlife photographer, it brings new opportunities for the young to be born and the awakening of certain species from their winter's deep sleep. We walk around observing nature, and in various locations in North and South Carolina, I am fortunate to run into some oyster catchers. The ones in North Carolina have their nests deep into the grasses and the sand dunes to escape prying eyes. So you get to observe the adults along the sandy shores occasionally, foraging, preening, and bathing. So upcoming, you'll see some still images and some video clips taken in North Carolina. These still images of the oyster catchers along with the video were taken in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And here they are, right along the water's edge, basically, a little farther in, not too far. And they're just horsing around and walking around. They didn't seem to be looking for food or anything. And we skip to a video where you see this one is preening itself and just kind of like taking it easy, not doing anything special. It can move pretty good when it wants to. They're funny birds in the sense that lots of times when they see shells and stuff, if it's near their nest, they'll just pick them up and flip them and move them out of the way. They're like very good housekeepers. So here we are now in South Carolina with a nesting oyster catcher. And usually we have at least one nest that we're able to routinely see year after year after year. And basically the nest is just a depression in the ground covered with cordgrass and other small branches and twigs, with maybe a few oyster shells thrown in for good luck. So the male and the female will both take turns sitting on the nest. And it's usually, according to a friend of mine who's been watching them for well over a decade, pretty much every day when they're here, they seem to change shifts every hour. So an upcoming video, you'll see the shift changing occur, and but it is really interesting. And when they change shifts, that's when the other one here's one walking away. It just got off the nest. The other one's sitting on the nest. Gives it a chance to groom itself, preen itself, get some food, relax a little bit, and get ready for the next shift. Now, it does not bring food to the mate. The only time they bring the food to the nest is when the baby's there. So here's the one taking a break, walking along the oyster bank, saying hello to a few friends. and just basically taking it easy, which I don't blame him or her, because sitting on that nest for even an hour, I'm sure, is not extremely comfortable. Now, as I'm doing this video, it is June 24th. My friend Bob and I went to this location. The babies were born 3 weeks ago, so that'll be a different video coming up. So here is a black-crowned night heron trying to find a stick to break off for replenishing and maintaining an existing nest, and it does succeed in breaking off a branch. So eventually it will fly away, bring it to the nest. But sometimes they pick branches, as you'll see in the next video, that are so easy to break. So here the black-crowned night heron. It's basically in the same location, looking for another branch. It's kind of poking around, looking at things, looking things over. There's a lot of noise in the background that you can't hear that I took out of the video, all the birds making noise. It has an interest in what it thinks is a stick, but it's actually a vine. So to try to keep this video so it's not 2 hours long, I didn't attach a whole series of still images in which this bird is really insanely trying to break off a piece of that vine, and it never did have any luck doing it. I mean, the vines are just not dried out enough to snap. And here are some still images of the black-crowned night heron in a more open area on a large tree branch where you can actually see it. Usually they're buried in the nesting area, and you can't see much of anything at all. So when you get the opportunity, take it. Get as many shots as you can. Beautiful birds. And the light was great too. Here we have an alligator coming up with a still and a short video clip. And they're active now. Once it's 70 degrees at night and during the daytime, they start feeding. So here it is eating a blue crab, and a short video clip coming up where you'll see the action in process. You know, they're dormant in the wintertime, unlike gators in Florida where it's so warm that they can eat year-round. But in South Carolina, they do go into a dormancy state. I believe it's called sublimation. And here you have one walking across the road, going back into the pond side from the marsh side. People freak out when they see that. Now here's a picture of one from a different part, Magnolia Plantation in South Carolina, and they have platforms where the gators, gain access to those and just stretch out on the boards and relax in the sun. Talk about having an easy life. They do make it very convenient for them. Nothing like laying on a plank or a big platform. And just to show that they do move once in a while, this little short video was taken in Huntington Beach State Park in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. All the platform shots were at Magnolia Plantation in North Charleston, South Carolina. Now upcoming, we have water actually coming in from the marsh side to the pond, going through the gate valve, and the alligator is just sitting there waiting and getting fish or whatever comes through that pipe. And the anhinga's there as well, and the anhinga makes an easy meal, easy peasy. Love how they flip it up in the air. Here's a little blue heron casting a shadow over the water to try to help it see the fish better. There's a tricolored heron getting ready to get some food, and it succeeds, and it has a fish. Here it takes off, looking for better feeding opportunities. A couple images of it in flight. And here is a great blue heron that succeeded in getting an eel. A couple shots there. Here's a little blue making a quick, very quick gobbling up an eel there. I mean, made record time. Tricolor landing in gently on the pond side. Walking around, getting ready to find some food. And here's a video clip where you get to see it in action. They're a lot of fun to watch. This is not slowed down. You're seeing this at full speed, so it may look a little jerky once in a while, but that's because I'm trying to follow this son of a gun as he or she moves extremely fast at times, and they're very, very good at changing direction, like basically immediately. So this is still at Huntington Beach State Park. I love how they randomly spread the wings out to give themselves a little bit of shade to make it easier for them to see the fish. The fish probably get attracted to the area when there's shade too. They figure, oh, this is going to be a little cooler here. We got some shade. They might actually swim over to the shaded area for all we know. The behavior is just really, really fun to watch. I mean, now sometimes we really get lucky and we actually see something other than a bird. And in this case, we got a wonderful looking deer. And likes to eat the grasses that are right on the edge of the water, just touching the land. Now, we've had years where at times we've had a half a dozen or more along this bank, and this is on the opposite side of the pond. And I'm not using a tripod here. There's a little bit of movement, but I'm at with the Z9, and I'm with the 2.3 times crop in DX mode, and I'm basically sitting on a bench, and I have the camera resting on the back of the bench, and I'm trying to film it that way to keep it as steady as I can. You can see the semi-palmated plovers out there along the edge of the water as well. And you can tell that, this was before they added more water to the marsh, to the pond side from the marsh, because, you got those birds that basically, they're not even getting their bellies wet. Now, the deer decided to get closer, within, I'd say, 20 yards or less. And, we tried to take advantage of getting some still shots. I mean, it was difficult to get some that I like, because it's, buried deep in the grasses here. But I don't mind a little grass coming up. I mean, it does represent, where it's at. Now, here's a short video clip where you're going to see his head dip down. And you can see movement, and you can see it chewing on the grasses and the weeds. And it was really, really fun to get this. And sometimes it would lift its head up and kind of freeze its position. It knew we were there. And sometimes it would be, I think, thinking about whether it wanted to take off or whether it felt safe enough to continue to eat. But it stayed around for quite a while. I mean, a fair amount of time, and we were very, very fortunate. And this is actually probably my first video footage that I've been able to get of a deer, other than what you just saw a minute ago. But you can see how it quickly lifts up its head and looks around. It's constantly looking to see what's going on. And of course, this time of year, you have a lot of shorebirds, and prior to them just recently adding water into the pond area, you had, artificial sandbars that were created. And so it attracted a lot of shorebirds. And they like to just sit there and bathe and take baths and, get food, and they were all having a great time. And you had a little bit of everything. You had western sandpipers. Here you have one pair of terns that were there, and one has a fish. The mate does not want the fish for some reason, and he tried like heck to give her the fish, and she didn't want to take it. And eventually he said, well, it's starting to get a little stiff. I better eat it now. I'll take it and have it for myself. So it decided to chow it down. And like I said, there's western sandpipers, there's sanderlings, there's semi-palmated plovers. Bonaparte's gull might be in another video, but they definitely spend a lot of time. All the birds spend so much time bathing and preening and keeping themselves clean. And if you're lucky, you go out to a different part of the park where you're more along the tree line. And if you're really, really lucky and you don't see them very often, you get a chance to get a red-headed woodpecker. And I mean, I love the look of this woodpecker. I mean, the only other woodpecker that I like as much as this is the pileated woodpecker, which is the largest one in North America. But I like the color is more vibrant on the red-headed woodpecker. And here's a pair of them here. And they're just beautiful. And my friend Bob and I from Bob Our Photos had the opportunity to actually see 3 of them. And here's a bluebird posing nicely on the end of a picnic table. This one on the very end of a broken branch. They're so cute. They're really, really beautiful birds as well. Now here we go. This is on the pond site again. Like I said, the water level at this time was so low that basically any size bird could be in the middle of this pond and it would have a hard time getting its stomach wet, because all you saw were grasses and a lot of bare areas like this. And I'm just kind of panning around to see what's there, and you can see the semi-palmated plovers. And here's a video of the great blue heron trying to down this eel. Like I said, the water level was still low at this time, but there were some eels that made it in. As they were filling and putting some water finally in here, the food sources came back, and that was great, because it was really obvious that not only did the birds want the food, but so did the gators. And this is at Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. A series of still images and eventually some video clips that you're going to see. These are least terns, and beautiful, beautiful birds. And we happened to get there at a time where there were still some that were sitting on eggs. There were some that would sit on the chicks, as in this picture here. You have the one in the foreground sitting on the chick, and there's another chick behind it. Here's the 2 of them hanging out together, best buds. I felt so bad for these little birds because it was so hot. It is so hot on that beach, and they look for anything that they can use as shade. I mean, they'll get behind those wisps of grass thinking that that's going to give them adequate shade. They'll go underneath a branch, as you'll see in some photographs. They'll even go underneath that little weed on the left. To them is like a palm tree. They'll lay underneath that weed in anticipation that it's going to give them some kind of comfort from the heat. But it's very difficult. And here's a video where you actually see the adult sitting on the chick. But there were a lot of great things to see at Wrightsville Beach. I had gone there, earlier in the year with Tim, aka Mozman, and we got pictures of these birds coming in, and I did get an image of one tern that was sitting on an egg. This was interesting how the one's just looking up at this particular bird. And sometimes you'll get a bird that will come in that's not the parent and try to feed the baby, and then the actual parent will chase that bird off. And sometimes you get this one that has the spots, more coloration to it. It's not just the white fuzzball. And there's that, this one. See how this one's kind of like hiding behind the grasses. And here you have the two adults, and the babies are in the background. Keep an eye on that stick in one of the videos. I'm not sure if it's this one. One will actually come around and try to bury itself underneath the stick, thinking it's going to get shade. It might be this one. You'll see it in a video anyway. There we go. It is this one. Okay, it ducked. See how it crawled underneath? I'm sure that really doesn't offer any relief at all, but I suppose if you think it helps, then mentally, then maybe it does, right? And you can see chicks in the background that are out of focus due to the depth of field. So you got a pair in the front, and you got looks like a pair in the back. All the birds that nest here do not have the babies at the same time. The skimmers are the last ones to have their young, but you have terns and willets and oyster catchers. I like this shot quite a bit. You got the two adults with the baby with its mouth open. Here you got the adult hanging around with the kids. And here's a quick video. See the two chicks hanging out together, and you got that little, I call it the palm tree, that little weed. Joked around, so that's the palm tree. Another video here. They really don't leave the position that they were born in for quite a while. I mean, they may go a few feet left or right, front to back, but they're not strong enough to really start running around too much. At least most of them are. They are fun to watch, though. Here comes mom or dad with a fish for the young one. Gobble it right down. There you go. Breakfast of champions. Oh, I'm so happy. Baby's saying, I'm so happy. And here's another shot of the adult with chicks. Can't get enough of them, I'll tell you. Obviously, you're probably tired of looking at all of them. But I do like the ones that are a different color. And here's one getting fed again. And I'll tell you, they eat those fish very, very quickly. Not that they're big fish, mind you, but you know, for a little body like that, they are pretty big. And I think the adult flew off to get another fish. There's one flying in with a fish. Yeah, sometimes they get stare downs. One has the fish, the other looks at it, not interested. I like this one with the darker coloration. Obviously older chick. Well, there you go. Adult's trying to give that one the fish. It doesn't seem to be interested, or doesn't know how to grab it, one or the other. Hopefully that is the correct adult. We're trying again, and the baby's still not getting the fish. Well, this happens sometimes. Yeah, you can see you can see one in and out of the frame there that had a fish in the mouth. A few still images. Very, very cute birds. Well, everything's cute when they're young and small, right? We say the same thing about pets. What a cute puppy. Now, finally, you're seeing some pictures here from Wrightsville Beach of the black skimmers. Now, the skimmers, at this point, as of this date, probably are just getting close to having the young hatch from the eggs, is my guess, and be going there hopefully in the week after the 4th of July to try to capture some images of the youngsters. I'm told there's nothing more interesting than to try to get images and video of the skimmers trying to teach the young how to skim and how to get the fish. So we got a few video clips here to enjoy. Yeah, they're all chattering. What's interesting is the skimmers break up into different groups, and you can watch, a given group, and they may just fly around and fly behind you and then land in the same general area again, not get any fish at all. And then you can find maybe another group of skimmers that are, let's say, 30 yards away or so, and they may be constantly making runs out to the ocean to get fish and like that, which is really interesting that they're not all kind of like doing things at the same time. And here you have one that's getting, I don't know if it's getting a drink. Every once in a while it sticks its bill onto the sand. I don't know if it's getting a food item or just getting a quick drink of water. But eventually it'll have some friends that'll join it, and they'll start really bathing in the water and enjoying each other's company. So that should be coming up in a minute or two, where you'll see some flying. Here's one flying in now. Yeah, there you go. And then I move the camera a little bit to fit a few more of them in the frame here, I believe. You can see a larger grouping of them. they enjoy being in the waves. And here, you know, you can tell they are actually bathing in this follow-up clip. Yeah, they're going to town. Flap those wings, dry off. Here we go. Gorgeous birds as well. And if you've ever been lucky enough to see them feed, it's really interesting. Now, here you're seeing images from the Audubon Center and Sanctuary at Francis Beadler Forest. And so these shots here are of some cypress trees, some of which are over 1,000 years old. And you can see the interesting root system, and you have a walking path, wooden walking path. It's very dry in here. This is just a picture of the dirt, all cracked, and that should be full of water right now. But this time of year, it doesn't have a lot of water in it. But you know, when you get to the end of the path, a couple observation decks, and we were able to get this young owl. And this is one that you know, is still hanging around mom and dad because it's not good at feeding itself yet. And then for the first time ever, I got some footage, still and video, of a young yellow-crowned night heron in a nest, which I've never had the opportunity to get before. So that was really, really cool. And so there's a couple short videos that are going to come up with this bird in it. And if you go to the other observation area to get a shot of the owl, you run into these two snakes, and you can see a bulge in one of them had some food in it. And here's the adult yellow-crowned night heron. Beautiful shot there. And we did find a prothonotary warbler on the way out. We were hoping to see a whole lot more than we did. And here's the clips. You can see the beginning here. The bird did poop through the nest. Not very polite. But it was really neat to see the youngster. Now we move on to a different location. Okay, we're now in up in different part of South Carolina at Magnolia Plantation North Charleston, and here you have a little blue heron eating a tadpole, and here you can see the legs on it. It's almost a frog, but not quite. Didn't get to make it, and the lighting in these images are fantastic. The color in the water. What wasn't fantastic was working on these images, because there was a strong highlight on the bird that I had to try to take care of as best I could. But really love the color in the water. Absolutely just what you want. And then in another area here, you got nice area with that great egret. Here's some up high. I'm not sure, it might be the other adult behind it, maybe one of the youngsters. Some anhingas. They were flying around. Now, most of the birds here, I didn't see any that were extremely young, like as in like maybe hatched in the last week or two. Most of these are fully fledged, and they're able to fly around. And you know, you got a pair up here hanging around on the tree, and we got some video clips. It did start to rain pretty good at times while we were there, and we were fortunate enough where we were in like a perfect location where as hard as it rained, we didn't get wet. Our cameras really didn't get wet much at all, and we didn't get wet. We had basically an umbrella of trees over our head, and we had openings in the trees where we could, you know, get pictures of these wonderful birds. And these are black-bellied whistling ducks, which, one, I never heard of them. Two, they are in South Carolina, but I've never seen any in the Murrells Beach area. Like I said, this is in North Charleston, and to see these ducks was fantastic. You'll always love it when you see something you've never seen before. And here the great egret did get a food item.
Oh, that green was just.
And this is a blue-winged teal, a youngster, and a green heron. And the water isn't bothering any of them. They're like, go ahead, rain on me. And this is a nice tall nest for a great blue heron. Yeah, here you have maybe two friends in the future. Beautiful coloration on this little blue heron. I love it when, obviously they're born with white feathers and then the blue starts to introduce itself. And this is blue-winged teal juvie. Here's a pair of them here near each other. Some still images. Great egret wondering, all my children have grown up. They're not in the nest anymore. Still of the black-bellied whistling ducks. Yeah, you don't get any cuter than these kind of shots. Makes your day. It was a wonderful day. Rain, and the rain added to it. Here you can see all the water beaded up on the duck's feathers. I've not had the opportunity often to actually shoot the birds in the rain. And here's three of them together, which is neat. Lots of times when they're adults and they're in the water, you don't see that blue on the wing unless they're flying. And a little blue heron here again, a closer image of it. Really like it. And these guys, somebody had a birthday. I really get a kick out of this shot, and not that I like pollution in the water, but it was funny. Here's a green heron with a tadpole, bullfrog tadpole. And here's some still images of a great blue heron back at Huntington Beach State Park. And this is funny. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of grasses in there, and it's trying to pull that grass out of the water. It obviously just wants the eel. It doesn't want the grass, and it was constantly fighting with the grasses. That unfortunately it had when it was trying to get the eel. It did get the eel and eat it though in the end. And my friend here, a little red-winged blackbird, and I showed this image on my channel on the live stream, but I love the backlighting. This one I like. It's a little dark in areas, and I think that adds to the image. Little green heron, juvie. You can still see the hairs on the head. A young anhinga. Here's another video of the tricolor heron doing its thing, as I would say. We'll start off with a little preening, and eventually it's going to get into the mode where I'm gonna go after some food. Now that I'm looking good, and it just moves, trying to follow one of these things around. And I do like to try to for certain actions of birds, I like to leave it full speed, so you get an appreciation for how fast a bird like this can change directions. If I did it in slow motion, which I will do at times with some birds, so you can get a better shot at it actually getting its prey item. But what makes this bird interesting is really its speed and agility and ability to change directions so quickly. So I'm trying to like show that by not slowing it down. And there goes, lift the wings up, put a little shade down there, get yourself a snack. There go the wings again. I like it when they kind of fly and hop around at the same time. You know, they're only in the air for like a half a second. Very agile birds. There's another video continuing the behavior. There you go, there's a fish. They got, you know, pretty long necks on them too, so they're very agile. They have good aim too when they strike. Yep, got a fish there. Now here's some still images, and I would say, you know how your kids would drive you nuts when you were driving on a vacation and they'd say, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" They drive you crazy. Well, the youngsters here, the Snowy, absolutely crushing mom or dad here and like biting the bill and following the adult around, saying, I want you to regurgitate some food in my mouth, or get me a fish or what have you." And I mean, really, really harassing the adult and driving the adult crazy. The adult's trying to say, "Can I find a babysitter? Can I move out of town? Can I just leave?" and I mean, the youngster just goes after the mouth of the adult. And then eventually another young one shows up, and mom or dad is probably saying, "Oh man, one was bad enough," and it flies off. Couldn't handle it anymore. This is when the water level was how they typically have been managing it over the last 4 or 5 years. So low that the deer had to walk halfway across the pond to get a drink of water, and was walking back into the grasses. Nice soft landing here for the tricolor. Snowy egret trying to figure out where it's going to land amongst the crowd. Here we go, take off. Very pretty in flight. Snowy and a tricolor together. I like that shot. But eventually, one does leave the other. Only friends for a little while. I like this one with the other birds, just as little white orbs in the background. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the Wonders of Nature Photography Part 2. This was a massive effort, and let's just say, man, the video clips alone was probably, I don't know, 30 or more. Probably close to 50, or well, definitely more than 50 images. So a lot of time went into this. I hope you appreciate it. Let's see if we end up doing a part 3 or a part 4 down the road. We'll see. I'm not doing these videos as often. So what I'm trying to do is make them more of documentary style, putting a little extra effort into it, spending definitely more time on them, and hopefully it shows, and hopefully you guys appreciate it. So give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, that would be appreciated. but give me some likes, that way I know that people are enjoying what I'm doing. It only takes you a second. You don't have to pay a fee. There's no membership. There's no nothing. Everything is free for you to enjoy and for me to share my adventures with you. So as I say, until next time, enjoy life and capture some of it. Go out there and take some of your best images, no matter what camera you use, no matter what genre of photography that you're involved with. Just go do something that you love to do, and believe me, it'll make your day, and it keeps you relaxed in a hectic world, to get away from things for a while and focus on photography. So have a good one, and hopefully we'll pop out a video every month or so and just let you know we're still around. And join the live stream on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's all photo talk with Jeff Neville, with a panel of experts and friends and great people in the chat. And believe me, we get off track once in a while, but it's very photography centric, and it leans Nikon a little bit, but we talk all brands, and I invite anyone to share anything about any camera that they have, any features that they want to talk about. They're welcome to come on the show and do a little 10 or 15 minute discussion or video, or share some stills or a PowerPoint presentation and share information. Everybody's welcome to do that, because we just want people to be engaged and learn from each other. So that's about it. Have a good one.